Hi, welcome back to my garden and this week's episode of Watch My Garden Grow. Weather is just kind of there. We've had some more sunny days, which is nice. There's a little bit of more life showing in the garden today and over the week. I'm really getting excited to see what's going to be happening over the coming weeks. The local nurseries are starting to get more plants in. A special shout out to Portland Avenue Nursery. That's my local nursery, and I was able to find a couple great plants there this week that I could put into the garden. So without further ado, let's go for a walk through the garden. And hey, while you're here, go ahead and hit that like button. And if it's the first time joining us, hit that subscribe as well, and each week you can get reminded when I post a new episode. So it's overcast and chilly today. We're expecting some frost this week and some colder temperatures. However, I've noticed some of my bulbs are starting to come up that I planted last fall. Oh, there's another one. We can watch their progress. While I was at the nursery this week, I did pick up, I can't remember its actual name, but it's commonly known as bear's breeches. I'm thinking that's going to be a good spot for it. Should grow tall, be dramatic. In this area, there will be canna lilies growing, so my hope is that later this summer, into the spring and summer, as the temperatures increase, it'll have some protection with some shade. My lupin is showing some life. Not much going on here. A couple more bulbs. Rhubarb every day is showing more green. It is eager to get going. Earlier this week, I planted some asparagus, some Mary Washington heirloom variety. That'll grow here in a couple weeks. I'll need to put a little more soil over the crowns. Not a lot of activity here in the greenhouse. My goal this spring, while it's still chilly out, is to repot my geraniums. It's been a couple years since those have been repotted. And then I've got some fuchsias back here as well that are holding on to dear life. If you remember from last week, this is where I planted that walnut that I found sprouted in my straw mulch. No activity there yet, but it's still early. A good friend of mine, Scott, he came over yesterday and helped me put a roof on the play structure. So when the grandkids are over, they have their own little fort and out of the sun when it is warmer. Ooh, the other thing I found at Portland Avenue Nursery. This is an evergreen clematis. It's supposed to be very quick growing. It's a white one. I can't wait for that to cover the play structure. Cleaned up many of my molehills. Sprinkled some grass seed. This looks horrible. This clematis that I planted last year, starting to show some life. I have no idea what to do with that. I gotta research that, figure out if I need to cut it, prune it, leave it be. Just got done pressure washing the patio, thus all the furniture is off. All of our Pacific Northwest rain, creating that green cover that was here, is now gone. A lot more life in these guys. My delphinium, my Lugaria, something like that, that's coming back. Not a lot of activity else. Dianthus showing a little bit of life. At some point, once we got some activity there, I'll prune that up, make that look pretty. I was looking to find ways to use up random leftovers from some of my projects, or scrap metal, things of that nature. My issue here in this planting area has always been there's some sort of varmint that comes in when I plant corn. And once the corn gets about 1.5 inches high, it comes through, eats it, digs up the kernel, eats the kernel, and will systematically overnight go through and kill all of it, just leaving the top laying on the ground and the seed gone. So I don't know, kind of a harebrained idea. I have no idea if this will work, how this will help, but I'm thinking that this will serve two purposes. I'm hoping that it'll help warm the ground, but that also I might be able to get in some beets and carrots, a crop of beets and carrots before I plant my corn here in May. And by putting this on top of it, I can, one, protect it from whatever critter is coming to eat it. Personally, I think it's squirrels, but I guess it could be a number of things. But then secondly, that it will protect my beets and carrots while they're still young, with some of the light frost that we're likely to have over the next couple weeks yet. So my goal next weekend, actually, Friday or next weekend, is to get some carrots and some beets planted so we can start watching that grow. This continues to fill with green. This was a bulb lasagna that I planted just over a year ago. We've got some daffodils, we've got ranunculus. Not sure if any of these are hyacinth, but I planted some of those. That's a crocus right there, that little green one right in the center. That should start, well, continuing to fill and look pretty. The elephant garlic. Oh, also washed the chairs while I had them out here. And finally, I noticed that my camellia bush is starting to swell with buds. This is a red one, and this whole bush will be red, I'm guessing, with our weather, I'm guessing within the next couple weeks. Way back there, you'll see that tall green bush behind the wheelbarrow. That's a white one. That's also got buds on it. But in years past, that's typically bloomed about 2 to 3 weeks after the red one. So I think that's about it for today. You guys all have a great week, and I'll talk with you again next weekend.